Correct, yes. But I'm so confused because I read certain things online, and the internet's always right.
Yeah,
So,
100%. It's 200%. If you see it on the internet, it's 200% true.
right. But so what does this have to do with anything? I mean, aside from being a killer book that's going to come out in November,
It is.
I think it's because in this issue there's going to be a special 4-page prelude to a Batman Hush series that you and I are going to see. So this is page 1 from the prelude, and Scott Williams.
Didn't finish it.
Yeah, exactly. It's because they're tin figures, they're like playing figures, and so I was trying to basically show reality without, because if I drew it in the normal style, it would look weird because they're toys and not humans. Even though none of them are humans, they're all drawings. It's very deep. I struggled with this word. How many text messages did you get? And you're like, no one understands Jim, no one cares, just draw the damn book. Literally, yeah. Anyway, so this is page 1. It's the return of Hush. And it is going to debut in March of next year. But before we get into details, we really should bring the whole band back together. So yeah. So let's bring on inker Scott Williams and color Allison Clare. So what you're looking at now are Scott's inks, and I think the previous slide was my pencils for pages 2 and 3 of the regular run.
Yes.
Right. So we're doing.
Are we doing the thing here?
Oh yeah, we are. Yeah,
We're doing this.
Yeah. So if you were in San Diego, there's a big T-shirt review.
Here what?
It's hydrogen sulfur. What's that?
Number.
Yeah.
Exactly.
3 hydrogens and sulfur. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to be taking over the regular Batman book, which is what we did in the first run, with issue 158 in March of next year.
It's a brand new epic saga, as we like to say. You get a little preview surprise in the Justice League. That's what we were talking about there. Those of you who are still trying to figure out what that bit was about, because I am. This is one of Jim's amazing covers. And this is the guy inks, and this is Alex's inks.
Colors.
Yeah, exactly. We're all doing the same thing. And I should also mention that the 5th member of the band, Richard Starkings, is coming back and doing the lettering and design. He couldn't be here for this. It is a story that takes place present day. It does affect modern continuity. I can't promise you that everyone's going to get out alive. But at the end of the day, there is, I like to say, more to the story. And when we last saw Batman and Hush go at it, we made some noise, and I think that's what Jim and I are trying to do, is make some noise.
All right. So we have 6 issues story, but there's actually another 6 after that,
Correct.
which will be later, which basically resolves the Hush saga once and for all. Perhaps.
Perhaps.
It's like any comics.
But I can tell you that what Jim's doing is just next level. It's just, there's nothing better than when Jim is in a competition. And so he's in a competition with himself. He's literally looking at the old pages going, oh no, I can do much better than that. And so it's just wildly insane, beautifully.
And I think that's what appealed to me when I was first introduced to this concept. Was I definitely got it from Jim and Jeph that they were swinging for the fences. The impression was, we're either going to do this right or we're not going to do it at all. Well, guess what? We're doing it. So we're going to do it.
Different approach that you're taking with it?
Yeah, initially, the way I did the covers on the first run, I would watercolor the background physically on paper, scan them in, and then add digital color to the characters and then blend them in. For this cover, I actually intended to do that. I sat down to just do a color sketch on the computer and test out a new technique to work. And like 3 hours later, I was done with the cover. Just kind of being and stayed on the computer, so I never really touched paper. So I think I missed it so much that it just kind of came out real quickly. So I'm now really excited to jump in and start this thing.
Well, thank you. All right, we have one fan. Are you going to be buying this? All I need to hear.
Yes.
So I needed all the Mets fans. I know I'm going to lose about 14 sales. Too soon. I'm going to be very embarrassed if we lose. That's yes. There you go. I just want to point out a couple of things. If it's not immediately apparent, at the bottom of this, we did. I don't know. It's sort of a Will Eisner homage, right? So the buildings spell out "hush." Yes, can you see it? I thought it was pretty obvious, but maybe not.
I think that was also the beauty of the first series. There was a lot of Easter eggs in the first series.
Yeah.
And that was, I used to really enjoy getting the pages coming in pencils, and you'd be putting somebody's name in graffiti in the background, or there was wasn't our art dealer. Our dead art dealer was in a graveyard scene. And a tombstone.
Opera, like there's so many people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No, we drew all of us. I think are in the opera scene in the Harley issue.
I think that's half the fun.
And then the buildings in the background are the buildings that are also on the cover of 608. I wanted to sort of visually tie this to the first issue of that series, but do a different pose. So he's leaping out fist forward instead of boot treads forward. And then Alex, you wanted to do a kind of a different, instead of the blue-gray cool palette, something that was warmer and obviously that very striking sort of sunset.
Well, I think, and I don't mean to speak for you, but you mentioned that the last the last cover for 619, the villains cover, you had this very dramatic sort of orange sky. And so here we're now transitioning from the last issue of Hush, 619, into this new series and using the color as a tie-in to kind of bring it all together, which I thought was actually kind of clever for you. Yeah. Not bad. Good job.
So I'm going to end this piece with a little bit of a surprise. I don't know if you guys know or not, but this is actually Scott Williams' 40th year in the industry. And I've been extremely fortunate to have him as sort of my principal collaborator over many, many decades. And I really, was doing a bunch of interviews around this, and I just feel so blessed and lucky to have you as someone that really has elevated the work I do and really created something I think is more than the sum of its parts, right? So,
thank you.
So anyway, there's a guy named Ryan Hickox that basically put together it's like a video tribute. So we're gonna show you, it's about 2 or 3 minutes long. I just wanna see you cry, if possible. All right, go ahead and roll it, please.
And overlaying over all of that was Scott's amazing talent at being able to interpret and